Hi, Sonrise. I'm Martye Haugstad, and I'm the Discipleship Director here at Sonrise Church. What that means is I get the privilege of overseeing the small group ministry here at Sonrise. So how do you get involved and what's a small group? For those of you that are new to church, a small group is simply that, a small group of people, of believers that come around the Word of God, fellowship together, grow together more in their love for each other as well as for God. Isn't that what we all want? And then we get to fellowship together, we get to just do life together, and of course, pray together. So that's what a small group looks like. So we have online and in-person small groups. There's no better time than this season to get involved in a small group at Sonrise. There's co-ed community groups, there's recovery groups, men's and women's group. But I'm excited to introduce in a minute here some of our small group leaders who are leading groups at Sonrise. And they're going to answer the question, why is community so important to you?
Community is important, I think, specifically in the body, because that's where true growth happens. I know for me, I can be in a sermon and hear a word from God or be in corporate worship, and that's really good, but it's in the one-on-one interactions and in the small groups that I've really felt God healing wounds. I've seen Him working in people's lives, and I've built relationships where I've found accountability and lifelong companionship.
I think community is important because we need each other. And when typically we're in a group of women and people, we tend to make better choices when we are together and we are growing together.
When I was thinking about what community means to me, I heard a quote today and really felt like that's the best way to describe it. If trauma of any kind is not processed in and through a community, through relational support, it can end up becoming toxic. And so we need community, we need each other so that we can work through our trauma.
Having a community of believers creates unity. Being part of a community can make us feel though we are part of something greater than ourselves. It can give us greater opportunities to connect with people. It can help us grow together in a spiritual walk. It can help us serve one another in a more efficient way, and also helps us lead others, following the example of Jesus in the gospel.
Throughout the Bible, we see references to where we are admonished to be a community of believers. And in that admonishment, we also are asked to support each other in love, giving love, in being able to encourage good deeds, being able to meet and help each other and support each other in the whole walk of faith and becoming Christ-like. Our group, Thrive, is intending to support people who have been through the divorce or a loss of a spouse. And in that, we want to form a community that supports them as they begin to reassess and figure out where their life is moving towards Christ-likeness, and we want to support them in that community.
Hello, I think community is important because it's where a growing relationship with Jesus Christ takes place. The authors of the book, The Cure, emphasized this point when they wrote, "No one matures in bitterness, no one is set free in isolation, and no one can be loved or loved in self-protection."
I think the small groups and these individual one-on-one contacts, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 4-on-1, that's where the real change happens. That's where the real growth happens. That's where I can say to a brother, how are you doing? And he can ask me that, and we can actually make some progress in our walk of faith. So that's why I do it. It's incredibly rewarding, and I'm going to continue to do it for as long as I possibly can.